Hello everybody, my name is Ryan, and today for the beginning of our schedules, I'm going to be starting something new. It's a new kind of series that I'll do from time to time on the channel. It's going to be nothing I do like every week or anything. It's just something I do from time to time whenever I feel like it. And that's going to be like telling stories, like just kind of like the stuff that the Odd Ones Out does. Just you know, stories, life experiences, stuff like that. So, anyway, let's get started, shall we? So, to get started, we're gonna talk about like when I was in elementary school, which I'm not in elementary school anymore. So, thank you for that. But we're gonna talk about when I was in elementary school, and specifically, we're gonna talk about this one lunch lady I had, and she was like super mean, like super mean. I hated her. So anyway, we're gonna talk about her. So I mean, I know her name, I can still remember her name, but I'm not gonna say it for privacy reasons, so I'm just gonna call her Mrs. B. Okay, I'm gonna call her Mrs. B. So let's talk about like some of the stuff she did, and sometimes she would do stuff that's worse than others. But like we're just gonna talk about some of the normal stuff she would do. So sometimes like if you were bad, like for one day and it was usually just one kid, she'd make you go to this thing called the manners table. It was like a student desk, and it was far away from all the other kids, so you couldn't talk to anybody, and you just like think about what you did and that you're not gonna do it again. So anyway, yeah, that was the manners table in a nutshell. So anyway, yeah, the manners table, it was like probably the least bad thing she did. So anyway, this lady, so we're gonna like talk about all the bad experiences I've had with this lady, like every single one, and we're gonna go over them. So the first one is something to do with the manners table. So like, anyway, I completely forgot to say something. So also, she would like yell a lot. This lady, she would constantly be yelling, like pretty much all the time. And she would have this thing called quiet lunch, where if like a bunch of kids, maybe 2, 3, even more, maybe 2 or more, were talking, she would send them to a manners table and make it where they can't talk for the rest of the lunch. Sometimes she'd make them not be able to talk for prolonged periods. It was different every day. But anyway, that was some of the stuff she did. She would yell all the time, like I said. It was that kind of stuff, and that didn't seem too bad, but trust me, it gets more interesting beyond that point. So anyway, we're going to talk about some of the especially bad experiences I've had with her. So, one time, like when I was in kindergarten, I was like not used to this whole elementary school thing. I did not like it, but anyway, that's pretty new. So anyway, so this lady, Miss B, so like it was 10 minutes after lunch it started. Like it'd been like 10 minutes since lunch had started, and there was only like 5 more minutes. So like this was like my 3rd lunch that I had there. So like I was I like didn't expect anything. I didn't think anything was going to happen. Like I was just not suspecting anything because I didn't suspect anything was gonna happen because I didn't know much about Mrs. B. I did not know much about her. So like I didn't know about how much. I mean, I had actually known her in a previous school I had went to, but the problem was in this school she didn't do anything bad. It was super confusing because she didn't yell at anybody or do anything like that in this previous school. So it was super confusing. For me anyway. So anyway, this lady, she Mrs. B, she walks over to the table with me and my friends, and she's like, she looks at me and she says, "Did you cut in line?" And I was kind of confused because I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. Like, where'd you get that from, you know? So I was like super confused because I'm like, I didn't know where she got that from. So I was like, no, I wouldn't cut. And she's like, stop back talking me. Did you cut in line? And I was like, no, I didn't. I'm just answering a question. So, anyways, then she was like, did you? And I was like, no, I did not cut in line. And then she got angry and she just said, all right, that's it. Go to the manners table. And I went to the manners table, and that was the first time I went to the manners table. And I was like super sad about it. I was not happy that I went to the manners table. Like, I was very unhappy that I went to the dang manners table. But anyway, so I went to the manners table, and guys, like, when I was at the manners table, I was not happy. I was like imagining I was gonna get in a bunch of trouble and stuff like that, and actually nothing happened. I was pretty much just told don't do it again. But that's actually like pretty much all that happened. So yeah, I guess I didn't get in a lot of trouble. But anyway, that was the first time I went to the manners table. I was so confused. Like, I'm still thinking about that to this day. Why did I go to the manners table again? Because I'm like, really sure that I did not go to that manners table. So anyway. Anyway, making it, like, it's like the cherry on top, honestly. So for like the cherry on top, like, whenever you get done at the manners table, the teacher would walk over to you and she'd ask you a bunch of questions. Now, usually it wasn't Mrs. B, but it was another teacher, because Mrs. B like had like some other teachers that would go around and patrol the lunchroom, like almost like they were her minions or something. It was super confusing. Trust me, take it from me. So anyway. Mrs. B didn't walk over, but this other teacher, I can't remember her name. All I know, I'm just gonna call her Mrs. S for now, because I believe her name started with an S. I'm not too sure. But anyway, Mrs. S walks over and she's all like, okay, now she's like, okay, now what did you do? And I was like, I don't know, what did I do? I mean, I actually don't think I did anything to this day, so I was so confused. I was like, I don't know, what did I do? And she's like, don't backtalk, what did you do? And I was like, I cut in line? I kind of said it with a question. I kind of said it like it was a question, and she was like, no, it's not a question. Did you cut in line? And I was like, yes, I cut in line. So anyway, then she asked the next question. She's like, okay, now why? Now, like, are you going to do this again? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not that kind of person. I don't cut in line. And she's like, okay, that's the answer I want to hear. Now, why did you cut in line? And I was like, you know, honestly, I'm pretty sure I didn't cut in line. Like, this makes no sense. Why would I cut in line? Most kids just do stuff without a reason. Like, they're not gonna have a reason for cutting in line. Oh, there was this one kid and I didn't like him, so I'm gonna have him get lunch a minute before I do. So yeah, it made no sense, the final question. And they would ask it every time. So I pretty much just had, like, by the end of 5th grade, I pretty much just had this one answer that I would give every time. Like, I would just do it every time. So, because, like, it wasn't gonna change. That you could tell these people were just asking it because they had to. So, anyway, more bad experiences. So, okay, you might not believe me on this one, but boy, is it true. Trust me, it is true. So one time, this lady, okay, Mrs. B, one time there was this one kid, and he wasn't necessarily what I'd call a good cookie. He was not the best kid, but at the same time, he didn't deserve what he got right here. So, like, he was being bad. And Mrs. B just, like, he got up, and Mrs. B just grabbed him, like, really hard. And I remember actually someone was eating lunch with me, and a few of my friends saw it. But like, well, a few of my friends, they saw it, and someone was eating lunch with me. I think it was my mom. But anyway, yeah, and it was super like harsh, especially on like a kid who was in like the 4th grade. So yeah. So anyway, once I was in kindergarten. This is the second kindergarten story I have. And like I remember this one very vaguely, like very, very vividly. Like this is a vivid memory in my mind. I remember it very, very, very detailed. Like it was very detailed for me. So anyway, one time, so we were having lunch, and when you have lunch in this school, you can get either an A lunch or a B lunch. And an A lunch and a B lunch, so they're different choices. Or, like, and also, you have to get a milk, you have to get a juice or a fruit or vegetable, like either a juice or a fruit or vegetable. And it's because they want kids to stay healthy. And I agree, kids should stay healthy, but that was such a stupid rule. And just give me a minute to explain why, okay? So, first of all, half of the time the kid wouldn't even eat the vegetable, so all you're doing is wasting money on vegetables. But anyway, that's pretty much all you're doing. You're just wasting money on vegetables. So that's all you were doing. But anyway, to add to this situation, one time I really liked to keep it raw carrots. Like I really love baby carrots. And I would get them almost all the time. Like, almost all the time. And, you know, they were pretty good. I'd get them like almost all the time that the school had them. And, man, one time, so you're only supposed to get 1 scoop of each food. So I did the worst of all things. Probably the worst thing I could have done, but I got 3 scoops, and I got 3 scoops of carrots, and that's like the worst. You know that, like, it says it everywhere. Like you should not be eating that many carrots, man. So I got these scoops of carrots, and I only ate like a few of them. So, because like after eating my 5 chicken nuggets, which was not very many, like I was full, so I ate a few of my carrots, but after eating maybe like I don't know 5, I was done. So anyway, like Mrs. B, she has all the kids line up and they throw their food away. Like they were on styrofoam plates, so we'd throw our plates away too. And she noticed a bunch carrots were still on my plate right before I was about to throw it away, and she's like, why'd you waste that many carrots? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, you know you're only supposed to get 1 scoop. And I'm like, actually you never told me that rule, which is true. She never even told me that was a rule until then. Like how was I supposed to know I was only supposed to get 1 scoop of carrots? Like I'm like 5 years old. I don't even know the full alphabet, let alone how many scoops of your precious carrots I need to consume. So anyway, she says, okay, go sit down at the manners table with your plate. And I was just kind of confused. I was like, what does my plate have to do with this? And then she's like, okay, well, you're not gonna leave this lunchroom like with the rest of your class until you eat the rest of these carrots. And I was sitting here like, but I'm full. And she's like, I don't care if you're full. You need to finish these carrots so you don't waste food. So I mean, I wanted to say, well, if I was like older, I would have been like, well, I mean, seriously, you would have made me go get a vegetable anyway, and I would have wasted even more food. So, I mean, what do you want from me, huh? So like, anyway, I sat down and I start eating the carrots, and after like 5 minutes, I feel super full. Like I feel like a bloated whale or something. And then she's like, "Are you done?" There was still like 5 carrots left, by the way. But anyway, she's satisfied with it now, and she's like, "Okay, you can go to recess," and I only get like 5 minutes of recess. But I didn't feel good for the rest of the day, okay? I didn't feel good, and I personally think that's the worst experience I've ever had with this lunch lady, because you shouldn't force a 5-year-old to eat a bunch of carrots that you probably could go buy for like $1 at Walmart. But anyway, yeah, the carrot thing, that, like, I know it may not seem like much to some of you, but to me, that was not very good. And like ever since then, I've hated carrots, okay? That made me hate carrots. So technically, all you're doing is making kids more unhealthy, lady. So if you're out there somewhere, which I know you are because you still work there, you still work at the school, trust me, I have friends who know. Just chill out, okay? Just chill. But, so anyway, okay. Yeah, that made me hate carrots, and I've never liked raw baby carrots since. I'll eat them once in a while, but most of the time, if you ask me if I want carrots, I will turn them down. So yeah, a lunch lady made me hate carrots. So anyway, okay, so another story. Let's go over some more stories. So, one time, me and my friend were just sitting there talking, and like, so okay, me and my friend were sitting there talking, and we finished our conversation. We were supposed to be kind of quiet because our teacher, Mrs. B, was getting tired of all the noise, which I can understand. Kids can get kind of loud, and I can understand that. Like, I can understand where you're coming from with that. So anyway, like, Mrs. B, okay, Mrs. B she walks over after me and my friend are done talking. Like, we were done talking, and I remember this is like, I believe this was 4th grade, when this happened, so, yeah. But anyway, we were just sitting there done talking, and there was these 2 kids that sat, like, me and my friend were in between them, and they were best friends, these 2 kids. Me and my friend sat in between these 2 best friends. So anyway, okay, these kids kept talking, and like, Miss B, she saw them talking, and she thought it was me and my friend. So me and my friend got like 2 days of quiet lunch for no absolute reason. But I got let off the hook. Like, I only had to do 1 day, and the reason why is because of this, okay? So the teacher, she would, Mrs. B, okay, she would, Mrs. B would, okay, like, there was this thing we could do in the lunchroom, and I don't know if Mrs. B was associated with it, but it was called Watchdogs. And basically, like, a parent or a supervisor or a like trusted supervisor of a kid could sign up, and they'd come in the morning, and they'd go around classroom to classroom. They'd help out kids. They'd usually play a game with their kid in their classroom and a few other kids. Like, they do all kinds of stuff like that, and that was cool. And usually they'd patrol in the lunchroom and help out kids who need, like, I don't know, can't open their juice or something like that. So anyway, like, that was pretty cool. But Mrs. B did one thing, and it was according to my dad, and I believe him because she is an insane lady, and I've seen it myself. It just was not that exact. Like, I didn't actually see it with my dad, but I've seen it alone before. So, okay. So some days, like, it happens every couple of months. There will be an A lunch and a B lunch, and I've already told you about what A lunch and B lunch is, but some days it'd be hot hamburgers and hot dogs, and this day, we had hamburgers and hot dogs. So they have like relish and ketchup, mustard, pickles, cheese, stuff like that up at this Blue Bar, and all it was a salad bar, but with different stuff than a normal salad bar had. So anyway, okay. So like, my dad, he's patrolling the lunch, helping out kids, and this one kid He does the bad of all bads. He is terrible person for doing this. He puts pickles on his hot dog instead of relish on his hot dog. So like, I'm not kidding, from a half across the lunchroom, this lady, Mrs. B, she yells to this kid, "No pickles on the hot dogs." I can't believe I have to tell you people, no pickles on the hot dogs. And she like yelled it. And it was so ridiculous. It's like I thought this was a free country. If that kid wants them pickles on his hot dog, that kid deserves them pickles on his hot dog. Like, that's so ridiculous. Like, why are you freaking out about like maybe like someone who's probably like 11 freaking out about him getting a certain condiment on his hot dog? Like, I mean, seriously, how much do you care about your food that you're going to let kids waste it, but at the same time, when kids get it and they like it, you're going to punish them for it? Like, as long as he's eating it, as long as he's eating, and as long as he's going by your regulations, he should be able to put whatever he wants on his food. So, beyond that, there was a bunch of other things that happened. Like, one time, it was in 5th grade, and I can understand wanting to keep a class quiet, but this is different. So one time, this lady, she, like Mrs. B, okay, she walks in, and she's already, it seems like she's in a bad mood already. So, okay. So the kids are talking a lot, and she wanted to group punish. So quiet lunch, she would so like for every kid she saw talking, she would give us a day of quiet lunch, and she ended up giving us like 2 weeks of quiet lunch, which was extremely stupid. And I was very upset, as I was like 8 years old, and I was like, seriously, lunch is the only opportunity you get to talk in this school, other than recess, and recess is only like 15 minutes. So, and lunch is only 15 minutes, so you really only get 30 minutes to talk. So if you're gonna take away like half of a kid's only time to talk, then all that's gonna do is make them talk more. So really, all Mrs. B was doing was causing more of a problem. So, okay. One time, me and my friend were talking, and I remember these other kids were talking. We got silenced pretty quickly, but luckily we didn't get caught. But this one kid, he was talking with his friend. He literally got 4 weeks of quiet lunch, like boom, like that. Like, I remember it. He just got quiet lunch, like boom, just like that. But anyway, like, thank you everybody for watching. That was all like the stories I could remember that were like, that's all the really bad stories I can remember. I mean, there's probably a few more. And this lady, she sat me to the manners table, gave me quiet lunch like all the time for random stuff I didn't do. So like, that's all the like major stuff she did. But like, other than that, there isn't too much more like major stuff that I remember. So like, if I remember any, I'll probably make another video about it. But I don't remember any. So thank you everybody for watching my video. Do you guys have any like crazy teachers like this? Like any that were like, you were trying to figure out whether they were actually insane or not? If you got any like that, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. And in the comments, tell me about them below, because I would love to hear about it. Yeah. See you in the next one. Bye.